Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Jody, and on my channel I talk about Broadway and books. And in today's video I will be continuing my Broadway show series where I talk about every Broadway show I've ever seen. So normally in a series on my channel I go over a few things, such as who was in the cast, who was on the creative team, how I like the show, anything interesting in the playbill. Today's video will be a little bit different as it's a show I've talked about in this series already. So because of that, I'm just going to go over who was in the cast and my performance, a brief overview of how I like the show, and anything interesting in the playbill. So without any further ado, let's get on to today's show. So today I'll be talking about the 31st Broadway show I ever got to see, which was my second time seeing the Broadway smash hit, Mamma Mia. So I saw this show for the second time in March 2003 at the Winter Garden Theater. And in case you didn't know, the Winter Garden Theater is now the current home to the new Broadway musical Back to the Future. So now I'll get on into what is in the playbill. So here are the headshots of the lead and supporting performers who were in the show when I saw it in March of 2003. And then the page with the chorus, standbys, and understudies as well. Okay, so now this is the point of the video where I'll go over, who was in the cast and have I seen them in any other Broadway shows since, or maybe I saw them in, I saw them in Mamma Mia the first time as well, so I'll do that now. Louise Pietro was still in the show at this point, although I'm almost positive I did not see her in the show when I saw it for the second time, but I can't find my understudy slip. But when I was seeing shows, back then, I used to take a bunch of playbills, so it's possible I have a playbill that has an understudy slip somewhere, but yeah, I'm almost positive she wasn't in the show the second time I saw the show either, which I was a bit bummed about because I really always wanted to see her in the show because she looked like fantastic. But I did eventually see the Tony Awards where, Tony Awards performances on TV, so technically, in a way, I got to see her in the show. But Tina Madigan was still in the show at this point, and she went on to be my favorite show ever, The Wedding Singer. Joe Machado was still in the show. Judy Kay was still in the show. Michael Benjamin Washington was still in the show. A new cast member was Adam LaFair, who I don't know if I saw in any Broadway shows since seeing them in Mamma Mia, but they've done a lot of work on television, so that was pretty cool that I got to see him in a show, in March 2003, because they've been on a lot of television shows, and that's super cool. So the only other name I recognize, because they were on the show the first time I saw the show, was Tyler Mannard. So now I'll get on to how I like the show. I love Mamma Mia. I was so excited to see the show for the second time because it's just such a fun, lively, and energetic show. It's just such a good time. And if you ever have the chance to see Mamma Mia live on stage, I highly recommend it. So I'll go over two more things now briefly because the first time I talked about this show in the series on my channel, I said my favorite song in the show was SOS, and I was actually thinking of another song when I said that song, although SOS is a great number. My actual favorite number from the show is Under Attack. I just really like the way they perform that number on stage, and I just really like the song, and I just thought it's just my favorite song from the show. So, and also the first time I talked about the show on my channel, I mentioned how I was pretty positive Louise Pietro was out of the show the first time I saw the show as well, but I couldn't find my underside slip. But I actually found another playbill I had, because like I said, I would take a few when I saw the show. I like to collect playbills, what can I say? And I found an understudy slip, so I'll just get to that now. Because I like to share this when I talk about the shows, and it bothered me that I couldn't find the understudy slip the first time I talked about the show, but there it is. So I just thought I'd share that. And now let's get on to anything interesting in the playbill quickly. So yeah, like I said, saw the show in March of 2003. And then the first thing I'll talk about is there was at the time a stage adaptation of the film Urban Cowboy on Broadway. It was playing at the Broadhurst Theater. I really wanted to see the show, but it was one of those short-lived kind of shows on Broadway. It was kind of here and then gone, so I never got the chance to see it. But I believe it was Matt Cavanaugh and Jenna Colella's Broadway debut. So they've gone on to do several Broadway shows that I've seen them both in, and wonderful performers. But yeah, there's an article about that show when it was on Broadway. And then, let's see what else. La Boheme was currently on Broadway. It was Baz Luhrmann's production of La Boheme. So, another show I wanted to see but didn't get to see. But you know what? I've seen a lot of Broadway shows, and sometimes you miss one or two, and that's okay. There was a show on Broadway called A Year with Frog and Toad. It was a show I was actually never really interested in seeing, but the show did star Mark Lynn Baker, and he was on a TV show I really liked called Perfect Strangers. But yeah, this show played at the Court Theater, I believe. So I'll just share that little advertisement of the show. And I think there's one more thing. Oh, there was an article in here about City Center. It was their 10th year doing City Center encores, and eventually I did get to see a show at City Center's Damn Yankees that starred Sean Hayes, Jake Krakowski, and Cheyenne Jackson, and eventually I'll talk about that in this series, although it is the only show I saw at City Center, so it won't really be a series, but you know, eventually I saw a show there, which is what I'm trying to get at. And then next I will just share briefly the next Broadway show I'll be talking about, my 32nd Broadway show that I ever got to see, which was my first time seeing the producers on Broadway. So right over there in the listings, there you see the producers. And so yeah, if you made it to this point of the video, I just want to say thank you so very much for watching me talk about the 31st Broadway show I ever got to see, which was my second time seeing the Broadway musical Mamma Mia. So yeah, be sure to stay tuned for my next video in the series where I talk about my 32nd Broadway show, which, like I said, is my first time seeing the producers. So as always, thank you so very much for watching, and until next time, bye!